At some point, surviving stopped being the hard part. Actually living did. Because you figured out surviving. You got good at it. You learned to push through, to function, to feel less. And it worked. Everything is technically fine now. But you're still braced for impact. Still waiting for the next thing to go wrong. Still somewhere else, even when you're right here. That's not a flaw. That's what happens when someone has been through too much for too long, without enough support. This video is about why, and why it makes complete sense that you still feel this way. You're sitting somewhere completely safe. Nothing is wrong. But your shoulders are tight. Your jaw is clenched. Your eyes keep drifting to the door. Not because you're expecting anything, just because some part of you is always checking. That's called hypervigilance. Your brain's threat detector has been recalibrated. It can no longer tell the difference between danger is here right now and danger happened before, and it might come back. So it stays on, long after the danger is gone. And you've lived inside this for so long, it just feels normal. Like being alert, like being prepared, like knowing how the world actually works. But here's what happens when that alarm runs too long. The brain eventually does the opposite. It shuts down entirely. You go flat. You drive somewhere and arrive with no memory of the route. You talk about something painful, something that would make another person cry, and you tell it like you're reading off a grocery list. That's not toughness. That's your nervous system cutting the power because it had no other way to keep you going. Here's a number that stopped me when I first read it. Researchers pulled together 67 psychological studies from across the world and tracked one specific thing: how many people were living with what they called persistent low-grade distress. Not a breakdown, not a crisis, just a constant, quiet heaviness that never fully lifts. Before the pandemic, that number was 15%. During it, it nearly doubled, 27%. And the people who had symptoms and then actually got better, that recovery rate dropped too, from 21% down to 13%. That's cumulative trauma. Dr. Judith Herman at Harvard Medical School was the first to name this pattern back in 1992. She found that repeated trauma, not one catastrophic event, but years of smaller ones, does something very specific to the brain's alarm system. It gets stuck. Then researchers started asking the next question: what does living with a stuck alarm actually cost you? Dr. Marilene Cloyter at the National Center for PTSD found the answer. It takes two very specific things from you: the ability to calm down after your own emotions spike, and the ability to believe that other people are safe. Most people who have been through too much genuinely believe they're okay. Because they're not lying. They really don't know. Emotional numbing is invisible from the inside. When your nervous system disconnects, you don't feel it disconnect. You just stop feeling. And not feeling anything feels like, I'm handling it. There's actual research on this. Researchers tested a group of people who scored the highest on resilience personality assessments. People who, by every self-report measure, were doing fine. But when they looked at what was happening inside those same people, how their bodies were responding, how they were actually behaving day to day, it was identical to everyone who said they weren't okay. The researchers called it a self-deceptive answering style. The story you tell yourself about being fine and the state your body is actually in can be two completely different things. Listen for this phrase: in yourself, in the people around you. I'm used to it. Used to what exactly? To never fully relax? To scan every room when you walk in? To feeling like joy has a ceiling you can never quite touch? That's not resilience. That's adaptation to something that was never supposed to be normal. And that word, adaptation, is the one that changes everything. Not broken, not damaged, not weak. Adapted. Your brain did not malfunction. It built exactly the architecture it needed to keep you alive inside an environment that wasn't safe. The hypervigilance? That was intelligence. Threat detection so finely tuned you could feel the shift in someone's energy before they said a word. And yes, living inside that state is also exhausting. That part is also true. The numbness? That was protection. A way to carry weight that would have destroyed you if you had felt all of it at the same time. The problem isn't that your brain did these things. The problem is that it never received the signal that it was allowed to stop. Sit with that for a second. Because the next question isn't, what's wrong with you? It's, how do you know when it's gone too far? So what does the difference actually feel like? Healthy vigilance has an off switch. Something tense happens, your body responds, and then, when the threat is gone, your nervous system comes down. Heart rate slows, jaw releases, shoulders drop. You exhale. When that off switch stops working, when you're tight in places that are supposed to be safe, when rest doesn't actually feel like rest, when you can have a good day and still feel like you're waiting for it to be taken away, that's not strength. That's a body that never got the memo that it was over. And that's the part no one talks about. Not because they don't know, because it's easier to call it strength than to admit that something is still running long after the thing that caused it is gone. You can be resilient and still be struggling. You can be functioning and still be exhausted in a way sleep doesn't fix. You can keep showing up every day and still have something inside you that never fully came back. Those things are not contradictions. They're just what it looks like when someone has been holding themselves together for much longer than anyone around them knows. If you've made it this far, if something in this video landed somewhere specific, I want you to hold one thought. The version of you that learned to need less, to feel less, to ask for less. The one who became reliable, capable, self-contained, who never made it about themselves because that cost too much. That version of you was doing something extraordinary. You survived. But you already know that's not the same as living. You've known for a while. That's why you're still watching. You don't have to fix anything today. You don't have to process everything at once. The first step is just this. Stop calling the adaptation a flaw. Your brain was never broken. It was working incredibly hard inside a situation that asked too much of it. And it's allowed to rest now. If you watch this to the end, you already know why. There's more where this came from. Subscribe, and I'll keep making videos for people who need them.